7 marks, past GCSE question, 2D shapes. Save this video as part of your revision for this because it was asked in a previous Edexcel paper. It was IGCSE, but they could definitely ask this in normal GCSE as well. So share this with a mate who you think could benefit from this as well. So it says the diagram shows a rectangle with the diagonal being 12, the width being x. The perimeter is 28. Find the possible values of eggs to 3SF. Now this is just standard mathematical practice, guys, exam strat. You always start with what they've given you, okay? Don't be messing about with things, yeah? Just stick with what they give you. That's where your working will start. We need to find the perimeter of this rectangle. I'm going to equate to 28, solve that. Then you work backwards. You say, okay, the perimeter, I need to find the perimeter. How do I do that? It will be x plus whatever these things are. So I need to find out what it is. Let's call it y. How can I find y given x and 12? Well, here we have a diagonal. Here we're in a rectangle, meaning this is a right angle. Cheeky Pythagoras' theorem. So we're going to say y squared plus x squared is 12 squared. We're rearranging for y. Let's move that over here. So y squared is 12 squared, which is 144. The plus x squared on the other side is minus x squared. So y is the root of all that. So to find my perimeter now, instead of doing this plus this plus this plus this, I'm just going to say it's the double of this plus this. So it's two lots of x plus this, x plus this. And this is looking like some craziness to solve. How do we solve something like that? Okay. Well, most students, I would say, would expand the brackets. I don't recommend. I recommend you divide by 2 first. So we have x plus root 144 minus x squared is 14. Now the way we do this is we're going to have to square both sides because we don't like this root symbol, right? Well, you have to be careful. When you square both sides, guys, you do introduce solutions. We're going to have to check our answers at the end. Okay, and make sure they make sense. For example, if you guys say x is 1, and I'm just telling you that, if you square both sides, you get x squared is 1. Then when you square root, you get x is 1 or minus 1. Okay? So you have to be very careful when you square both sides. Yeah, we might have to check solutions at the end, but it depends on the context. I'm just telling you guys so you are aware of that. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to take that x to the other side. So this plus x on this side will be minus x. Okay? Right, now I'm going to square both sides. So the root disappears. Yeah. I got confused. I was like, why have I written the same thing? Okay. Now we can expand that super quick by doing 14 squared, which is like, I don't know, 286 or something. 196, that's what I meant. Who remembers that stuff anyway? Then you multiply these together, minus 14x, double it, minus 28x. Then we square that, so that's x squared. Then we need to move the smaller x's over to the larger ones. So that minus x squared we're going to bring over here. We're going to add x squared. Then the plus 144, we're going to minus 144 over here. So we get 0. 196 minus 144 is 52. Then we get minus 28 eggs and 2x squared. It looks like we can divide by 2 there. We get 26. In fact, let me do that one first. So x squared minus 14x plus 26. Okay. And now here, because they said to 3SF, I'm assuming you can't factorize this. Let's just go with the quadratic formula. X is minus b plus or minus root b squared minus 4a, which is 1, c, all over 2a. Now, if you guys remember, I've shown you this a couple of times now. Examiners love to see you type in what's inside the root. It does give you a mark a lot of the time, which is 92. Yeah? Yep. All over 2. So that's going to give me, I guess we just type it in now. I'm going to do it to 3SF. So we have 14 plus root 92 over 2, which is 7 plus, so I'm just going to type it here. So this, it becomes 7 plus or minus root 23, but then we need to decimalize. So to 3SF, I'll get 11.8, or changing it to a minus 2.20. Okay. Now it does say find the possible values, implying that both of these seem to be correct, but I just want to be thorough here. I don't want to make some silly mistakes. Sometimes, I don't know, how devious could an exam board be to say values and then say that one of the solutions might not be true? Well, one thing's for sure is that if x is 2.2 or 11.8, these two, I don't know, my calculator screen's blank, it works here. How about for y? Well, that's 12 squared, right? So it doesn't matter if you have this or this, y still ends up being positive. Because if I do root 144 minus 11.8 squared, I get like 2.2 basically. You basically get this. They actually interchange with each other. So, yeah, it just depends how you wanted to look at this. Yeah, the x could have been here, the y could have been there. So it looks like they both work because they both give the same solution, just these two switched around. So yeah, it works. Yeah, these two solutions are just interchangeable. And that's it. These are your two solutions for 7 marks. What do you guys think? I mean, you did have to do Pythagoras, you did have to do quite complicated solving. It might look simple now, but the process is not very simple. That's why it's worth a lot of marks, okay? So guys, if you learned something today, I'd appreciate if you hit the like button, subscribe for more maths content. Don't forget to share this with a friend who you think it will benefit. Can't be losing 7 marks in a question like this. Don't forget, if you are interested in my GCSE or A-level courses, more details in the description, and feel free to join the Lung Gang Reddit page if you want to submit your own questions and join the community. Nice.